index.html file which will be displaying hello world as a heading. And now this HTML, this is a simple HTML file which is not using anything inside. Now, if I want, if I want to change this hello world to something else, if I want to change this, let's say hello Shivam or hello Hyderabad, something like that, and I am saying I will not use anything, I will only use HTML. I want to change this heading after loading it into the web browser. Understood the question? Simple thing, I want to change something, I will write it here, right? If I'm changing it here, I will write here and refresh it, it changed, right? But I will not make any change into the HTML file, any change. But I want to do something on this website. This is a web page now. I want to do something on this web page so that I can change the hello world. Is it possible? No. With using HTML only, it is not possible. If you are simply using HTML, it is not at all possible. Why? Because HTML is not a programming language, it is a markup language, right? If you want to do it, you have to use either JavaScript or TypeScript. At least you have to do that, right? So data binding is related to all these concepts only. See, your HTML is not capable of doing anything except displaying the elements. For even a single logic, you have to do something related to JavaScript, right? Let's say if you are saying that we will give some on click here, how you will write the on click function? Even this on click is a JavaScript, right? This on click is JavaScript thing. So this is, we cannot do without using some external thing. And that is the only reason that we are going to study data binding. Data binding is not a very advanced term. It is related to yourself only. Okay. So let's start now. Data binding. By listening to this word, you will be thinking that binding the data somewhere, right? Miss binding, you understand? Collecting and wrapping, something like that. But case is very simple here. It is not that much advanced topic. So here, data binding in Angular means to access or to send the data from component to view template and vice versa. What is data binding? Whenever you want to send some of the data, or not send, you can use transfer. Data binding in Angular means to transfer the data from component to view template. Component means we are talking about TypeScript file. Component means, I will write here, we are talking about TypeScript file. And view template is what? What is view template? Yesterday only we discussed it. HTML file, right? View template means HTML only. Now, if you want to send your data from component means TypeScript to view template means HTML and vice versa. What do you mean by vice versa? Reverse is also possible. Like if you want to send some data from HTML to TypeScript, that is also possible. That is what data binding is. Okay, so let's open VS Code. Okay, so here we are discussing about app header, and selector I will change to the normal selector so that we can use it as a tag name. Okay, or you can simply name it as header also. But why we are keeping app hyphen header? Because header is a tag available in HTML also. That is why for naming clash, like there should be no confusion between the naming. So let's first run this application. So this is header component, and okay, fine. It is working fine. Now let me close this part. I will open the typescript file of header and the HTML file of header, and I will remove this thing. What is the name of this project? Test. So let's write that. So here I will write h2. The name of this project is, come, the name of this project is test, and let's check, and it is coming. What happens now? This is a HTML file, right? And this is called hard coding. Whatever you are writing in your HTML directly, that is called hard coding. Means it will be very hard to change the content. It will be very hard to change the content because you cannot interact with HTML. You can interact with JavaScript or TypeScript. You can write the functions there. You can write the logics there. You can write the classes, right? Now, let's say in future I renamed the title. I named it to flag. Instead of test, I changed it to flag. Whenever now, if I change the project name to flag, you have to come to HTML, static HTML, then you have to change it here. Generally, we will not use this part. We will be having a admin panel of TypeScript. There we will make the change. So now in this class, I will declare title colon, then its value I will say test. So let's first say that title is in a string. Okay. Title is in string and value is test. Here, what I will do is I will try to use that title. So double curly brackets I will use, and here I will write title. Just check. The name of this project is test. This is called data binding. Who is sending the data of means data means value. Who is sending you the value of this title? Your class, right? Your class is sending the value to this component, not only title. Let's decide something else. So here I will say that there is age. Age will be in number and value, let's say 15, right? Keep a comma here. 8. Yes, now I have a question. What is the error here? We have discussed TypeScript. Yes, what is the error? Yes, we are saying that age will be a number and we are giving a string value. So it is not acceptable, right? So age value I have given as 15. How we will be using here? So let's say h. Suppose anything. My age is age, right? My age is 15. But what is the real difference? Simply, 15 is coming, right? Simple 15 is coming. What is the difference here? If we are writing it in this way, right? So let me keep it in H3. In H3, I am writing that my age is 15. What is the difference? This 15 is coming from TypeScript. This 15 I am writing. This is H2. This is H3. There is nothing difference there. Do we have any difference? If I am writing it in the same H2 only, check now. Both are same. No difference, right? No difference. Okay. That I said that in HTML we are doing the hard coding, right? I will show you the difference. If you are binding the data, if you are binding the data means in double curly brackets, you are trying to say that this is TypeScript now, not HTML. So just take a case that here I will write 15 multiply by 2 and here I will write age multiply by 2 and check the difference. Check the difference. TypeScript multiplied the age by 2, but HTML is again a simple markup. It said 15 multiply by 2. Now, first thing you understood why we are doing the data binding. Data binding means if you are writing the curly brackets, this is TypeScript now. You can do anything in this, right? Let me write here minus 10, and here also I will write the minus 10, and let's check. This is what you are getting, that my age is 15 multiply by 2 minus 10, and that one is showing 20. That is the difference, right? This is TypeScript now. You can write the logics here. In HTML you cannot write the logics. Okay, so understood. But not only this curly brackets, there are other mediums also, and we are going to explore them. Understood what is data binding? Now tell me one thing. In this particular example, our data is flowing from component to view. See, remember one thing. If I'm talking that component, I'm talking about TypeScript file. If I'm saying view or view template, I'm talking about HTML. These are the common terms. Remember them. In this example, our data is flowing from component to view, not from view to component, right? So that also we have to do. We'll do that. So let's first understand. Here we have written that data binding in Angular means to transfer the data from component to view template and vice versa. Vice versa, you understand? If data is flowing from component to view template, if vice versa is mentioned there, it means data can flow from template to component also, right? Now, types of data binding. Types of data binding. Types of data binding. Huh? Visible to everyone? Data binding. See, whatever we are doing in class, this is also data binding. right? I am a trainer here and you are the trainee. You are the trainee who are getting trainings. Now there are two options. If we are talking about Angular, I am teaching you, right? Means data is flowing from trainer to students. This is called one way data binding, right? This is called one way data binding. Now let's say I asked someone's name. What is your name? Swati. Now I got to know that there is one girl in offline batch whose name is Swati. Now she also told me something. Now data is flowing from student to trainer. This is also one way data binding only. Don't think that this is two way data binding. Two way data binding will be when both of us are reacting to the same thing at a time. If I am teaching you Angular, right? If I am teaching you Angular and I am saying that data binding is of two types and you are accepting it. But if you are having another knowledge on data binding and that you are sharing with me, that will be two-way data binding. Two-way data binding means you can bind the data at any time with the two of the persons. Let's understand. I will give another example for it. There is a confusion in one-way data binding and two-way data binding. Understand that properly. I'm I'm giving you trainings on Angular. Are you giving any training to me on Angular? One-way data binding. She told me her name that my name is Swati. I got to know, and now I start arguing. No, no, your name is not Swati. It is not even possible. It means that whatever I am saying, you are just accepting it. And whatever you are saying, I am accepting that. There is no conflict, there is no argument, there is no logic between, right? So that is called one way data binding. Means one will be a giver and another one will be a taker of that data. In two way data binding, anyone can be the giver or anyone can be the taker. This is the logic. If one person means component is giving the data, now understand it. Here title is test, age is 15, and component is giving the data and header is accepting this data. Can header give this data back to the component? No. So here this component is accepting the value and this view is accepting the value and this component is giving the value. One way data binding. Okay. If there is something which both can do, now let's say two friends are there, they went to a restaurant. Now there is a possibility any one of them can pay. They can split it, right? They can split it also. That is called two-way data binding. Both are giver and both are taker also at the same time. At the same time, that is the logic here. Okay, we will see this. So first understand data binding is of two types. First is one way data binding, and it will be two way data binding. Okay, so data binding is of two type, one way data binding and two way data binding. Now let's understand what is one way data binding. In one way data binding, data will flow through one direction only at a particular time. At a particular time. Now tell me one thing. I'm giving training to Swati on Angular, and she told me her name. Is it two-way data binding or one-way data binding? It is one-way data binding only, because whatever data I'm giving you is different and whatever data Swati gave me is different. If we are exchanging the same data, now let's say, I will give a very funny example. Don't think it in otherwise. Now let's say you are going somewhere and you find a person there. Now you like that person and you want to exchange the number. You went and you exchange the number. Like, give me your number, I will give you my contact number. That is called two-way data binding now. You are exchanging the same kind of data at the same time. That is called two-way data binding, right? That is called two-way data binding. Okay, now understood? So in one way data binding, data will flow through one direction only at a particular time. How? That is, data will be flowing, data will be flowing either from component to view or view to component. View to real example. Don't try this real example. So at one time, data will be flowing from component to view or view to component. No need to write anything. Daily I am providing notes. Listen to it. So at a particular time, data will be flowing through. Now let's take another case. You went somewhere, you liked someone, and you are just trying to get the number, but person is ignoring you. One way data binding, right? One way data binding. So Samar, I think you have lots of experience, right? In getting only one way data. Understood one way data binding? Okay. So now we are going to talk about one way data binding. This one way data binding is again of two types. So first very type is component to view. Component to view. And second type is view to component. View to component. This is called one way data binding. Okay, understood na? In one way data binding, it will be component to view or view to component. Okay. See, take it easy. It's not a difficult task. It's very easy. Now here we'll see types of one way data binding. So these are the types. For removing your confusion, I'm not talking anything about two-way data binding. Just you think that you will send the data from component to view only or view to component. That's it. Okay? That's it. Now we are going to talk about component to view. We're talking about component to view. Transferring the or accessing the data accessing the data from component to view. Now, what does it mean? TypeScript to HTML. TypeScript to HTML can be done by using two methods. By using two methods. And there, the first method is string interpolation. String interpolation, and second one is property binding. Second one is property binding. No need to have a confusion here. We'll give tomorrow's time also for the same thing. Just take it light. Okay. So for achieving component to view, we have two methods, string interpolation and property binding. Okay. For what? Component to view. Now what we have to view to component? Let's first understand this. View to component. It means to transfer the data from view template to component. And what does it mean? HTML to TypeScript. It can be achieved by one method. It can be achieved by one method, and that method is event binding. Event. Today we are talking about one-way data binding only, right? Today we are talking about one-way data binding only. In one way also, how we are sending the data from component to view, right? How we are sending this data from component to view. Okay, so now we got three methods: string interpolation, property binding, and event binding, right? We got event binding. Okay, so now let's first understand what is string interpolation. See, we are using one method. This is also a data binding method. This is only string interpolation. Don't worry. So this is only string interpolation, right? This method is only the string interpolation. Understood properly? Okay, so let's write. First, do it. And we will not do this thing now, right? We will not do this thing. And I'll remove this part also. We will design something so that you can actually understand. So here we will design a mobile phones component, right? How mobile phones are visible in Flipkart. So we'll try to develop some kind of that thing. So if you're searching here mobile, so like mobile name, price, and some very little things we will display. Okay, let's do it. So here, let me first create a container. Inside this container, h2 I will write name colon. So let me write iPhone. Okay. Then we will write the price, which is nowadays 65,000 rupees. And let me keep it 70,000. 65 is the discounted price. Discounted price is 65,000. You can show other details also, right? You can show 5 left in stock. 5 left in stock. Color, array, leave it. Let's check. So things are looking in this way. Okay, fine. Font I will change. I think in global CSS for H2 we have written some different font. For H2 I will use go to only, right? So this is what we are getting now. But again, it's a hard coding only. So let's try to do these things using string interpolation. So first of all, I will define each and everything in the class. So here I will say there is name. Name is in string and value is iPhone 15 plus. Okay. And price. Price is in number. Value is 70,000. Discount. Uh, so I can write D price. Discounted price. Again, it is a number only and its value is 65,000. Stock. Stock is in number, value is 5. In my particular component, I will just change the static value to the dynamic value. Here I will write in the string pollution name. Here instead of this 7,000, I will write price. RS I will keep there as it is, right? RS I will keep as it is. Discounted price I will keep as D price, and RS I will keep. RS stands for rupees here. This 5 also I will keep as stock. Now let's check. So everything is coming in the same way, right? Everything is coming in the same way, and that is called string interpolation, right? That is called string interpolation. So let me first say it. Guys, I my voice is properly audible. Gaurav, check your internet connection now. So this is called string interpolation, right? So let me write string polish interpolation. String interpolation is a method to transfer the data from component to view using how we will do it. In it we will pass the value in double curly bracket double curly brackets block double curly brackets block in this way, right? Example I'll keep from there only. Now let's say if you have a typescript class like this. Okay, so if you have a typescript file like this, and then you have to use this data in this way. Okay, we are using, this is called in string interpolation only. String interpolation means whatever data you are having, you are just passing this data as a string value, right? As a string value. Now I want to show one more field here. Instead of this discounted price, this time I am saying that You are not having the option for discounted price. You are having option for discount, and this discount will be in number, and number will be 5% of discount, right? What we are saying, you have a discount of 5%. Anybody who knows mathematics here? What will be the 5% of 70,000? 5% of 70,000. Arey. What will be the 5% of 100? 5. What will be the 5% of 1000? 50. 10,000 means 50. 70,000 means multiplied by 70. 3,500. So what will be the next price of iPhone? If current price is 70,000, next price we are providing a 5% discount. So the next price will be 66,500, right? Okay. So let me do it. I am just telling you. So this discounted price I will write here as 66,500. Directly I am writing as hard coding. I am providing the hard coding. So yes, it is coming fine. What if discount changed to 10%? Price is still the same. That is the problem. In rewriting the hard coding, this is the problem. Because you are providing the hard code value, and you have to again calculate the 10% discount. So 10% will be 7,000, and now the next price is 63,000. You have to again change it, but no need to change. That is why we are providing it in string interpolation. So understand this. So here, let me first write double curly bracket. It means that, let me zoom it out a bit. It means that inside this now you can write your typescript. So what we are writing? We are saying that first you need to calculate the discount. So price multiply by discount, price multiply by discount divided by 100. At first you are this is the formula, right? Whatever price you have, multiply it by discount and divide that by 100. So here it is showing 7,000. Why? Because the discount is 7,000 now. If I change the value to 5, it will be showing 3,500 discount, and it is showing now for discounted price. So this thing you need to subtract from the original price. This is the discount now. So do one thing, subtract this value from price. So price minus that discounted price. So now you are getting the discounted price as 66,500. Let me change the discount now. So discount I will keep at 10%. Changed. Let me keep the discount as 5 already checked. Let's say 51% discount, very high discount. So you are getting the value, right? Let me do one more thing here. I will give 7% of discount. You are getting value is changing. Let's give 100% discount, take it for free, right? So you are getting this. This is the benefit of binding the data. You are not changing it every time, right? You are not changing it. So let me give a 0% discount, 12.5. So it's working, right? It is working. Now let me write the initial price as random price 68,912. Okay, and this is what you will get. Okay, this is what we are getting. Means exactly. See, this is also changing. This is also changing. So this is the benefit of doing the part of finding the data using string interpolation. Understood the string interpolation completely? Do you have any doubt? You can provide the calculation also. You can write the typescript expressions. You can write typescript here, right? From where it will take the value from its component. From this class, it will take that value. Okay? From this class, it will take the value. This is called string interpolation. I'll mention the same thing there actually, that using the string interpolation, yes, it is similar to DJANGO. You know why Angular is more comfortable with Python and React is more comfortable with Java? That is the only reason. Because their internal working is somewhat same only. Their internal working is, so once we are heading towards Angular, you will see that, oh, it is very easy. Right? Now also I think you are comfortable with Angular. Most of you are comfortably working. So using the string polation, we can do, or we can write the typescript expressions also. Typescript expressions also in Spring MVC. This concept is also there. Yeah, we can also in double curly brackets, right? We can write it. How? So I'll give the last one example. This one. And how you will use this string polation? You will use the string interpolation in this way. Okay? Understood? Do one thing for this component. We will give the iPhone's image also, right? We will give the iPhone's image also. iPhone 15 Plus, and this is the image, and this is the image link. So I'll copy it, and here I will write img src equals to giving that image, and image is coming. If image is looking big, just decrease it height. Let's keep it 200. Okay, now fine. But here again, we are giving the hard coded value. See, you cannot directly change the content of your HTML, but TypeScript's content you can change because it's a programming language. You can write any function. So, can I write this link also? Yes, let's try. So, copy it and I will give it to something as, let's say, image. Image will be in string and value is that. Okay, what I have written, image will be in string and this is the value. Okay, so how we will use it here? If you are writing src is equals to image in this way directly, if you are writing image directly, we are getting the image. But what is the benefit of this? Okay, we'll show you some benefit. Let's say I'll keep this image now. Okay, I'm keeping this image. So copy this link, go to typescript, change the link, and this time our picture got changed, right? Our picture also got changed. So this is the benefit of using this part. Okay, this is we are comfortable, like you can write the expressions also. What is the next thing that is called property binding? What is the next thing as property binding, right? So next thing is property binding. String interpolation is there, and then we have property binding. And all of these methods are for passing the data from component to view. All of these event will be from view to component. Now let me come here. What is property binding? So in property binding you will be binding the data by giving a property. By giving a property. How? I'll show you. Let's say there is a input box. There is a input box, and if you are writing that its value is 120, if you are writing in this way that there is an input box and its value is 120, so you will see a input box with 120, right? You are seeing it. Let me keep it at top only. So there is a input box which is showing you 120. Array, I am writing only a input box, and to that input box I have said that your value is 120 and I have marked it as disabled. I have marked it as, means you cannot click on this. You cannot click on this input box. You cannot change the content of this input box, right? What I have done, I have disabled it. You know this? Know this or not? No? Very good. Now, value is 120 and I have marked it as disabled. Okay, fine. If I want to change the value, I have to change the value from here only. And changing the value in HTML is not a good practice. Changing the value in HTML is not a good practice. Then how we will do it? We will do it using the property binding. If you want to write the inner HTML here in this way, give me a minute, guys. Now, can we define this part in, let's say, for this input box value, can we define it in this class? Let's try. So I will say that value, or let's say ratings, right? We will show ratings. So value equals to, uh, let me keep directly 5 you can keep, or you can say value is in number and its value is 5, right? In this way I will say. Now if you are trying to give that value equals to, use that string interpolation only and write here value, right? Or here let me write ratings. Ratings. inside this, I will use the ratings. Are we expecting the correct output? Yes, of course, we are expecting the correct output only. Then what is the use of another thing called property binding? What is the use of property binding? They are working in the same way. There is no use of property binding. Generally, I will show you what is property binding. So let me that do that. So here I will write value equals to ratings. And if I'm writing value equals to ratings, this ratings will be going as a text. But I want this rating value to go. For that, I will surround this with a square bracket. And now it is coming as 5. This is called property binding. This is called property binding. In property binding, whatever value you want to give, you have to keep that thing in a square bracket and then provide the name in double quotes. But what is the use of this, sir? Because why we are doing this? Our case is simply working with string interpolation. And I think you will be feeling that string interpolation is very easy to use, right? Feeling this thing that string while our string let me change the value. So I will change this value to 4. Now ratings are 4 here and they are changing here. Let me write here star also. So here I will write a value. After this, I will, if you are writing here star, actually, it will not work. So rating is 4. While our things are already working, while our things are already working, let's say here, why we are doing the property binding? For that, let's create a button here. Okay. So for this, I will create a button and I will write that buy now. Buy now. Okay. So simple thing I am writing that buy now. And I am able to click on this button. Right? I am able to click on this button. I am able or not? So I am able to click on this button. Okay. But while you are dealing with the, or let me keep this button after image only, like how it is visible in the components. So buy now, right? What I want is user can click on the buy now button only when some items are left in stock. When stock becomes zero, when stock become zero, you should not be able to click on this. Now, this thing you cannot do using string interpolation, right? This thing you cannot do using string interpolation. This you will be doing using property binding. Because let me keep the stock. So let's say there are 10 mobiles in the stock and buy now button is working. Now, if you are keeping this button, let's say this button, I am saying that this is disabled. Button is disabled. So button is disabled now. You cannot click on this, but stock is there. Stock is there, right? I want when stock is not there, then user should not click on this button. For that, let's start writing. Okay. So how you will write condition, some if else, something you will write, right? Something you will write. So at first I will keep square brackets and then I will say disabled, because disabled is a property here. Disabled is a, there are two tags. One is disabled, another one is hidden. For these two HTML attributes or properties, we use property binding. Otherwise our case will work fine with string interpolation. Only for these two things only we will use property binding. Otherwise everywhere you will use string interpolation. Now if you are writing disabled equals to, in double quotes you will write your value. In double quotes you will write your value. So how it is coming? Button is, you can click. Now let's check here. So at first I will call that stock, right? I will write a condition here that stock, if stock is 0, stock is 0 colon true. If I am writing in this way, which is this operator I am using here? What is this operator? Ternary operator. Now we are able to click on this. Let me change the stock. So stock I will change to 0, and there is a problem in this code. You will not see that problem. Now when the stock becomes 0, buy now button is not working now. Buy now button is not working now. Let's update the stock. So let's say now you got one iPhone in the stock. Someone cancel its order. Again you can buy it. This is the use of property binding. Property binding and string interpolation both will work in the same way. But if you are trying to do it using string interpolation, okay? So what you will do, you will remove this square bracket, and this statement you will write inside double curly brackets, and let me remove this part also. If you are writing in this way, error, because that is a error, right? That is a error. That is why everything is removed. Means entire div is not working now. So you cannot write in this way. Okay. How many of you don't know this ternary operator? Please tell me. I will teach it. If you are able to understand this thing, then only tell me. Everybody understands it? Ternary operator? Yes or no? Okay. Then it is fine. See, now string interpolation is not working. So here I will keep it as disabled as a property, disabled, and this disables value I will write true. This disables means button disable is true, and disable is known property of button. Spelling. So now I have made this disabled to true. Every time it will be disabled only, whether stock is there or not. Now we have stock, then also this button is disabled. So what I want, that instead of being disabled every time, get disabled when the stock is not there. Get disabled when the stock is not there. So instead of writing direct true, I will check one condition. Condition is if stock becomes 0. Can stock become even minus? No. So it's a simple condition. Or you can write less than 1. That stock is less than 1. But stock is 0. This is called, if stock is 0, use ternary operator. If stock is 0, disabled equals to true. If this is not true, then keep colon, second thing will work. This is the use of ternary operator. And now we have one item in stock. So buy now button is active. Okay. So this buy now button is active here. Now, if I'm making the stock as 0, disabled. You know how these things works? These things works in this way. Understood now? You cannot do this thing using the property binding, right? You cannot use. So let's write something there. Property binding is the another method of transferring the data from component to view. From component to view. It is it is slightly different. It is slightly different from string interpolation. Okay. So how it is different? Now let's say you have a name equals to, or let me keep the code only. So here let's say you have a stock number 0, right? In the same code I am giving the thing. If you have stock as number 0, and I will keep it with yellow color so that you can understand this is a typescript file. How you will use this part in your component in this way. Okay, you'll use it in this way. There is a lot more to discuss. We'll see. Wait. Now that is fine. Can I write the value here that h2 name equals to? Can I write in this way? If I want to use the property binding between the h2 tag, between the h2 tag, how we will do it? This is we are using string interpolation, right? If I want to do it here, so if you are thinking that give this name in a double quote in this way, how the string interpolation will work here? So again, let's try to do it in different way. So I will remove this part and write value here. So if you're writing value equals to name colon, or directly just write name here, first thing. So you will see that not coming. And this is the problem in this code, that you cannot use property binding everywhere, but everywhere you can use string interpolation, right? But we can do this also. We can do this, right? We can do this. How we will do this? Now name is coming from a string interpolation, this one, right? So name iPhone 15 plus is coming. But the case is, this is the string interpolation method. If I want to do this using property binding, see here you understood property binding. If you are not writing this disabled inside this square bracket, it will not work, because Angular will only take the square bracket as property binding, right? It will not work. Every time it will be disabled only. So keep it here. If I want to use the property binding here, let me keep a note actually. It is suggested use string interpolation at most of the time. String interpolation most of the time. The use of property binding, the use of property binding is limited to some attributes. Some attributes. And what are those attributes? Like disabled, hidden. Like for these kind of attributes, you have to use the property because you cannot use string pollution there. If in this h2, I want to use the property binding, can we use the property binding here? If instead of this string interpolation, this is your task for today, right? Learn it. I will give the source code as well as the notes. Learn it properly, okay? And try to do it. That how we can give this particular value as property binding. This is string interpolation. So instead of in string interpolation, try to do it using property binding. Okay. So I'll create a repository and I will give you GitHub link. Understood what we discussed today? Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Stock will work. No, it will not work. You have to write in double quotes only. Tomorrow we will see event binding, two-way data binding, and we will how many days to access get up link. Get up link. What is get up link? See, my GitHub link you can access forever because I never delete anything from my GitHub. Google Classroom, I don't know. Right? You can keep my GitHub links and it is available on my username. You can access it from there. I don't have any idea about this particular thing. Okay, so both are uploaded here or this. Wait, cannot access it actually. Wait, I'm uploading and I'll give you. Mhm. Mm. Understood this properly? Data binding. Very good.